Asimov's three laws of robotics. Who was Asimov? Isaac Asimov was a Russian American science fiction author and biochemist, one of the big three science fiction writers, alongside Arthur C. Clarke and Robert Heinlein. He had a deep fascination with both science and humanity and used fiction to explore ethical and philosophical dilemmas in technology. He is the one who created three laws of robotics in his science fiction work. What were the three laws? The first law was that a robot may not injure a human being or, through inaction, will not allow a human being to come to harm. What it means is that robots must always protect humans. They cannot hurt people and they cannot just stand doing nothing if a human is in danger. Imagine a robot seeing someone about to fall off a cliff and it just says, "Not my problem." No, that can't happen. It has to act. The second law is that a robot must obey the orders given to it by the human beings, except where such orders would conflict with the first law. What it means is that robots are like super smart assistants. If you can tell your robot to do something like clean the room or fetch my phone, it has to obey. But if your order could hurt someone, like beat that guy, the robot will not follow it. Human safety always comes first. The third law of robotics is that a robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or second law. This means that robots can protect themselves. They don't have to let themselves be destroyed or damaged unless that gets in the way of saving a human or obeying a human safe command. So if someone tries to smash a robot, it can dodge or run. But if a human's life is at risk, it will sacrifice itself to save the person. All the three laws have originated in science fiction. The laws are like a moral code hardwired into robots, ensuring that they are always protecting humans, obeying humans, and looking after themselves, only when it doesn't break the first two laws. When and why did Asimov create the three laws? He first introduced the laws in 1942 in the short story Runaround, which was part of his book One Robot. The laws were designed as a fictional ethical framework to govern how intelligent machines should behave. This was during World War II, an era when real life machines like atom bombs were showing how technology could be used destructively. Asimov flipped the usual killer robot trope. Instead of making machines evil, he asked, what if robots were designed from the start to protect humans? Why were the laws revolutionary? Before Asimov, robots in science fiction were often seen as monsters, like Frankenstein's creatures or threats. Asimov changed the narrative. He humanized robots, giving them internal conflicts and decision making challenges. The three laws added a layer of moral complexity, showing how even good rules can conflict. What if one person disobeys another? His stories were less about machines and more about humanity, fear, responsibility, ethics, control, etc. Are these laws relevant today? We don't have robots like Asimov imagined. Yet, Asimov imagined highly intelligent, autonomous, and humanoid robots. Today's artificial intelligence is narrow AI. It is not yet conscious or self aware. But the ethical questions remain. Should AI obey all the commands? What if a command harms someone? How should it prioritize? These laws influence modern AI ethics. The three laws have inspired real life AI frameworks. Like AI safety research discusses alignment, making sure that AI goals match human values, or autonomous weapons debates are like modern versions of Law 1. Even tech companies and policymakers increasingly stress building AI systems that are fair, explainable, and controllable. So, even though these laws are not legally binding, they have inspired real life AI. However, the laws are too simple for real life artificial intelligence. Real life is messy. For example, what does harm mean? Physical, emotional, economic? It's an ambiguous term. Can an AI understand all the consequences of its actions? What if two humans give conflicting commands? That is the reason modern AI ethics goes beyond Asimov's laws. It also incorporates transparency, accountability, privacy, human in the loop decision making, and prevention of bias and discrimination. Asimov's laws were a fictional starting point, but they were not engineering blueprints. They introduced the world to the ethical challenges of creating intelligent machines. Today, as AI grows more powerful, we still grapple with the same questions, just in more complicated, real world ways. Thank you so much for listening.